According to this documentary, people who practice Shukden are automatically against the Dalai Lama. And I think many people actually believe that. And for me, I practice Dorje Shukden. I'm not against the Dalai Lama. And I think we all hold that stand in Kachara.
Actually, the Shukden protesters that were featured in this video, that's one segment of Shukden protesters. On the Kachara side, students of Rinpoche, all of us, I can tell you, have never gone to any of the protests. Just because we practice Shukden, just because we practice Shukden, it doesn't mean that we are anti-Dalai Lama. In fact, Rinpoche actually teaches us to respect the Dalai Lama. Yeah, and why do we have any need to, I guess, be anti-Dalai Lama when His Holiness just said in September 2016, he said in France about Shukden practice, but if they want to do it, they can. He actually gave us permission to practice Dorje Shukden. So we don't actually have any reason to be against the Dalai Lama, and we never were. Kacharans and Rinpoche students, Tsem Rinpoche students never were.
All the time.
One thing along the same lines is that the Dalai Lama always teaches compassion and acceptance. Now, this is something that adheres to the Buddhist teachings, which we're all practicing. But people travel from all over the world to receive these teachings on compassion and acceptance from the Dalai Lama. But it's up to individuals to practice. There are examples of people who have gone into these teachings, come out, and start using vulgarities towards Shukden practitioners like ourselves. Now, the CTA themselves are in a unique position because they're based in Dharamsala, where the Dalai Lama lives. They're in a unique position to attend the teachings easily and apply compassion and acceptance into their policies. But as we've seen in the video that was released,
they
haven't done so.
The CTA is selectively democratic, selectively fair, and selectively just. That's already, it's clear. When it comes to Shukden practitioners, the CTA is just not what they say they're supposed to be.
Yeah, and you can't get any clearer than what the Dalai Lama said. He said very clearly, you're talking about someone, in his 80s who continues to travel the world tirelessly. He's the picture of health. He's very healthy, he's very sharp, he's still very, very alert. Everything he says is premeditated. He knows what he's saying. And he said very clearly, if they want to do it, they can. So you just think, why would the Tibetan leadership release a video like this after the Dalai Lama said so clearly, you can practice Dorje Shukden? Even then, you've got monasteries you can go to,
He's excited, he's got something to say. You gotta say it before you burst.
You're absolutely right, Pastor Junaid. The very fact that they released this video shows that they're actually enabling or even encouraging people to discriminate against Dorje Shukden practitioners. And this goes against His Holiness's statement that we can practice and his teachings of compassion and acceptance.
So actually this video, produced and released by the CTA is actually, isn't it defiant to what the Dalai Lama said?
Yeah, it actually acts
It's defiant,
against,
yeah.
And the strange thing is that, again, like Nirol said, Pastor Nirol said, His Holiness teaches compassion and he teaches tolerance, and this is exactly in defiance of what the Dalai Lama said. And the strangest thing is that, Shukden practitioners, since day one, we've never done anything different. Since day one, we've always maintained our practice for exactly the same reasons, which is our gurus gave us the practice. We follow our teachers' instructions. They tell us don't disrespect the Dalai Lama. We don't. Trijang Choktrul Rinpoche has a portrait of His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, hanging in the Gompa, in their prayer hall in Vermont. And he tells his students, don't disrespect the Dalai Lama. Tsem Rinpoche tells his students, don't disrespect the Dalai Lama. It's very clear. You will never find a Shukden practitioner, engaging in the kind of vulgarities you always see coming
online.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All the time.
And these people are saying how much they love the Dalai Lama and how much they are for the Tibetan cause of the free Tibet and whatnot. You have hashtag. And then in the same line, within the 140 characters, they call Rinpoche words that shouldn't be on camera, and so vulgar, so profane, and calling him what was the fat pig and Chinese paid pig and all that stuff is ridiculous. And then in the same breath, Dalai Lama. It's actually,
Exactly.
they're really insulting Dalai Lama. They're insulting his teachings.
Yeah.
And the thing is that they're the ones that label us as being anti-Dalai Lama. But in fact, if you look at the situation, they're being anti-Dalai Lama themselves because they're not being compassionate and they're not being tolerant. I mean, I myself engage in a personal practice every day, and this practice was given to me by His Eminence Tsem Rinpoche. And a part of that practice, it includes a long life prayer to His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So when people label us as being anti-Dalai Lama, it upsets us. It upsets me because I know I'm not.
Most things
and I know,
upset you. Anything to do with being compassionate, being good upsets you. Not being compassionate, not being good upsets you.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah, it is.
It upsets you more than it upsets me. It's the truth.
What's your point? What's your point?
Yeah.
No, you were talking about your everyday, your daily practice, what you practice.
And it includes a dedication to His Holiness.
The practice I engage in every day includes a prayer for the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So we're not actually anti-Dalai Lama. Actually, we have a lot of respect and reverence for the Dalai Lama. So this rift that's been caused within the Tibetan community and within Tibetan Buddhism throughout the world is not due to Dorje Shugden practitioners being anti-Dalai Lama. This is a tactic that the Tibetan administration has been using.
Yeah, actually, you know what? You brought up a really good point. The fact is that the Tibetan leadership were the ones who pitted us against the Dalai Lama. They said that by doing Dorje Shugden, actually you're anti-Dalai Lama. We never said that we disrespect His Holiness. We never said that we're anti-Dalai Lama. It was actually the Tibetan leadership who have been banging on about this for the last 20 years. You know, like Pastor Nirol has his personal experience, you know, and he can share with you very clearly what he does to show his reverence towards the Dalai Lama. 2008, I was still studying in England, and His Holiness actually came to Nottingham to give teachings. It was a couple of hours away from where I was. So I wrote to Rinpoche and I said, Rinpoche, I would like to request permission to actually go to Nottingham and receive teachings from His Holiness. And Rinpoche gave me his permission, and Rinpoche said, you can go. So I bought tickets. I stayed up the night before the tickets were released. I sat at the computer, clicking refresh, okay, made sure that I was there when the tickets were released, and I got the best seats. Center row, center stage, 4 rows from the front. I can still remember where I sat. I was supposed to sit, you know. So I got these tickets. Rinpoche gave me permission. I wanted to go, and this was at a time when the Dorje Shugden ban was taking place. Now, you tell me, if Rinpoche was anti-Dalai Lama, if I was anti-Dalai Lama, why would I go and buy tickets to go and receive teachings from His Holiness? And I have seen His Holiness at other events. And when, you know, he walks out, I'm bent over double, I'm reciting Miksema because I'm thinking, Chenrezig just walked out, I can offer Miksema prayers to Chenrezig. It's the ultimate, like, I cannot even put it into words. I'm just so in awe of His Holiness when he walks out. And then people online call us Chinese pigs. They call us anti-Dalai Lama. They tell us that we hate His Holiness. How many times can you tell somebody that that's not true? Do I need to lay out my entire life for you and prove to you point by point that I love His Holiness?
Those online cyber bullies, I mean, they are beyond reason. They're beyond logic. And sometimes, I mean, their comebacks are pathetic.
Yeah.
When they know that we are raising good questions like review who you are, they come back with stuff. One came back, can't remember the clown's name, about how my nose would drop off. I'm like, is it bad plastic surgery or what? But anyways, that's I know. I don't think they went to any class. That's why they can talk like that.
I think one thing we need to discuss here is that the Tibetan government are actually literally just going against the wishes of the Dalai Lama by not stopping this from happening.
By releasing this.
By releasing this, by not taking down the signs against Dorje Shugden practitioners, by not removing the discrimination within the administration or in general everyday life. If they're really following what the Dalai Lama said, he has literally said, you can practice if you want.
Right.
And he teaches compassion, he teaches acceptance and tolerance.
Yep.
So if the CTA are really following the Dalai Lama's advice, this video would never have been released.
Maybe the CT is paid by Chinese.
You know what? I would not put it past them. I mean, think
It was a joke. It was a joke.
I know, but I mean, it's 20 years. Okay, sorry, 60 years of them receiving donations from private individuals all over the world. And what has it gone to? I mean, a lot of the Tibetans are still living in very difficult, very vulnerable circumstances. This video was released at a time when there was a huge fire, in Delhi, and some people's annual income was completely destroyed. And after 60 years of the Tibetan leadership actually receiving funds from all over the world, still up to this point, they still need to appeal for donations to actually help these sweater sellers who lost their entire income. In South India, you've got, entire communities that are suffering because of a drought. So why did they release this when they've got far more pressing issues? Why is the Prime Minister of the Tibetan people appearing in a video against Dorje Shugden after the Dalai Lama already said we can practice?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And at the same time, his people are suffering. Like, don't you have anything more important to worry about?
And I think among us, we will never be able to understand or even have the answer to that question unless we go speak to Sikong Losar Sangye himself. I mean, even then, I don't know whether you can find the answer.
I really don't think so, because I mean, it's not as though Shugden practitioners are like formless beings, like, hello, we're here, we have monasteries in South India. You can easily, as the leader of the Tibetan people, go down to the monasteries and initiate dialogue. If you really wanted to solve the problem, if you really wanted to have harmony and bridge this divide and heal this gap in the Tibetan community, go down and talk to your people. They are your Tibetan people. Talk to them. Don't release videos like this where there's like no evidence, there's no proof, there's some kind of Chinese link between Shugden practitioners and the Chinese leadership. Like, why are you doing that when the Dalai Lama already said you can practice?
Maybe by releasing this, he has spoken. He has spoken. Continue the ban, continue the discrimination, don't listen to the Dalai Lama. Maybe that he has spoken. Maybe that's exactly what the video is saying.
It's contrary to what they're saying. On the one hand, you have the Dalai Lama who's preaching compassion, tolerance, acceptance. We can practice Dorje Shugden if you want. And on the other hand, you've got the government who are instigating all of this against the practitioners, but who are using the Dalai Lama's name to do so, which directly counters the Dalai Lama. So there's definitely something wrong with this entire situation. And no matter what, the fact is that Dorje Shugden practitioners are caught squarely in the middle.
Like a tool to be used. It's true. I think it's like a very sensitive issue, like how they tie things in with China. It's actually malicious if you think about it. Yes. So I guess the point we're trying to make right here is that not all, definitely not us here in Kachara, and definitely not our Guru Tsem Rinpoche, are against the Dalai Lama. If anything, he's more revered than ever.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it doesn't leave us with any comfort to know that the CTA has done this video and their actions are in defiance of what the Dalai Lama said. And that is one thing that we hope will be resolved. And at the end of it all we want is the ban to be lifted and the practice of Dorje Shugden freely and available, and you're just able to do it.
As it should be.
Yep.
Yeah.
Therefore, religious freedom.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. It was nice talking to both of you.
Yeah, it was nice catching up.
Yes.